Yo guys, sorry you already know that today we are back playing some more Raging Loop. We recently discovered our next dead body, which is what's his face? The guy that was the he was like the big burly guy. He was like younger. And he was supposed to be the one figuring out who is a werewolf or not at night. And he was supposed to be protected by the spider, but he was not protected and was attacked. And that is where we are at. Also, at some point, the next time that I hit an autosave thing, I have been requested to go back to the choice where I went outside of the outhouse and then saw the werewolf and got killed, and then I jumped back. People want me to do that, and this game does let you sort of jump back and jump around. The only reason I'm not going to start off that, because I tested it when I got here, is if you look at the chart, or sorry, not even at the chart. If you look at the, I guess I'll go to load. If you look at like the saves, the autosave is from 6 minutes before where I saved it. So I would have to redo 6 minutes of gameplay if I jump back now. So next time I see an autosave thing, I'm going to jump back. We're going to play that out, and then we'll come back to where we are now. But let's see how long it takes to reach our next autosave thing. I forget, I think it was Chimmy that was saying, like, you can't escape God, or someone said that you can't escape God. I found her words so irrational, it began to frighten me. Oh, hey, autosave, perfect. How incredible. Alright, now we should be able to jump to, we should be able to go back. I want to look, yeah, burial, okay, so this is the next thing. So we can jump right back. So there's this choice here. Well, hello? Okay, I don't know why I did that. Starting point next. Don't remember, otherworld. There, hide in outhouse. And then, follow the scream. Okay, wait, was it right here? Wait a minute. Are there like more choices over here? I'm so confused. I'm trying to figure out how to like. So hide an outhouse. If I go from there, what is that? Follow the scream. I have the 2 key. Encounter the werewolf. Resist the urge. Wait, is there more choices back here? I'm very confused. So every time I'm here, I go to hide an outhouse. I think I have to go back here because I don't understand. Is this where I died? Hold on. Is this where I died? Okay, alright, this is where I died. This is the thing. But it looks like there's other choices that I didn't explore. Hold on. I'm very confused. The next morning, in a paddy field in Fujiyoshi, Yasumi's third block, someone discovered thoroughly mangled corpse. The clues nearby led the discoveries to conclude it was a traveler Haruaki Fusaichi. So this is where I got the key, and then I like went back after hearing this, and apparently there's still some stuff left to see. So that is what I'm doing. He's still moving. Strangely enough, I could perceive this particular moment. A young B2 purge him, and so I, goodbye Haruaki-san, was finished off by the girl. The feast begins. The last thing I heard, I'll hang the wolf, was that. Right, and then this came up. Unveiled arrival. And then I got the key. Has already been obtained. You can now view the keys list. And then, what is that? Bad ending number 2. Oh, it just says game over. Watch Hint Corner? Sure, should I be watching this? Is that what people want me to do? Hey there, you've done it, now, eh, Chief? Me, I don't mind me. Just an insignificant interface character. You can call me Sheep. This is a space between dreams. That bastard Haruaki Fusaichi can't see it, so feel free to kick back and relax. That said, you can't stay too long. I'm busy, so let's get down to business. As you'd expect of a Hint Corner, I'm here to give some helpful advice in your times of need. First, let's get all the game explanations out of the way. Well, I did say you've done it now just before. You actually fated to arrive here from the start. I mean, you only had one choice, right? There should have been one below it, but it had a lock mark next to it, and you couldn't pick it. Oh, so the sheep is going to explain everything about, like, the choices and stuff, I guess. Oh, but just so you know, redoing Chimmy Serizawa's idiotic quiz is pointless. None of those choices will change a thing. I think it was explained to you back in the tutorial, but let's review Raging Loop structure just in case. Oh, I love how, like, his voice gets to go because the sheep is another voice. Are you just experienced for yourself? as you just explained for yourself, you'll definitely die in Raging Loop. Why is that? Because many choices are locked, and you'll need keys to unlock them. These keys are spread throughout the story. You'll need to die to obtain most of them. That's why death is unavoidable. It seems Haruaki Fusaishi can retain his memories for the next time, even if he dies. This is a system to replicate that. So here's my first piece of advice to you. If you get stuck, try dying. There are many keys lying within the story's many bad endings. You can also obtain keys from some surprising outcomes. Of course, it's possible to get all keys and finish the game without seeing all the bad endings, but I'll leave that up to you, your playing style. As for bad ending 2, also known as Toilet Man's End, you need key 2 to avoid it. But that won't be a problem for next time. Did you notice you already obtained key 2 by dying here? You can check the details of key 2 from the keys list in the menu, so you can check it out there. But basically, Haruaki Fusaishi now knows from experience he'll die if he goes out at night. That's what makes a new choice possible. You'll find more bad endings that you're forced to play through first in the future, so keep that in mind. Other times, you can keep going onwards for a long time without finding a key. Whenever you get a key, it's displayed with large red letters, so remember that part too. Haruaki Fusaishi will be sent back to the starting point after this. In other words, to the scene at the start of the game with him on his bike. You can reread everything from the start if you like, but you're going to die dozens of times from now on, so it'd be paid to reread each time. So once you get a grip of the situation, use the scenario chart to jump ahead. You can jump to any scene you've read before, whenever and wherever you want. It's really handy. For example, you could open the menu, press the chart button, and go to Q, follow the screen, indent miss even right now. Use the scenario chart to jump around. That's the key to completing Raging Loop. Incidentally, this marks the end of 2 Death Mints. The so-called prologue is over. If you pick the choice that was unlocked this time, the game's first main route, 3 Yomi, will begin. Good luck. Alright, so that is everything that I need to see, I guess. Next time you come across a locked choice, look to the right side, you should see the number of the key you need to unlock it. The number appears in the scenario chart too. It makes it clear what's locked and what key number you need. Handy system, huh? By the way, here's a little tip. You won't be getting key 1 for a long time. You didn't miss anything, so relax and just keep playing to your heart's content. God, that took a while, and I'm busy. Well, that's enough for this time. Die another hearty death next time. Okay, the one thing that I did get out of this... Oh, guess it was just a dream, right? Oh, that's so kind of scary. Do better next time. Alright. And then it's gonna restart the story? Perfect, perfect. Alright, so we're gonna jump around now. So that is I think the main thing that was actually helpful is telling me that I should be trying to die. I remember there was a choice that was like, should I stay here, should I go? And I was like, well, I want to survive and see what happens, so I should stick around. But I think I should be trying to make choices that lead to me dying. So that is something. But that is interesting. I'm still very... Okay, so wait. This is 2, but this says unlocked, right? So does that mean that I did this? So then what was this? Oh, okay, that was like... Oh, wait, that is the path that I ended up taking. Oh, but I could go back and leave Yasumitsu. That does go to a separate thing. I think I'll have to do that another time. Okay, I was... The reason I wasn't understanding how to read this was because it's kind of split up into different sections or whatever. So right here, in my mind, it looked like I was like, oh, this was a choice, and then there's this, and then it just kind of ended, but that just continues on to where I actually ended up going. So I didn't miss a different choice. That's, okay. Key 20. What is, like, the earliest choice? Right there. In the start, key 4. Key 4 seems like something that won't happen for a while. Okay. So we're going to go back to the present. I'm gonna fully finish out this thing. Maybe I can go back to try and leave. Maybe I'll learn something. Maybe I'll die, and I can get a key. But I'm just gonna keep going back to here. So we're at the burial. All right. So that was pretty useful. And I'm gonna keep that in mind when it comes to making choices. I'm gonna try and make more choices that will lead to me dying. But I would like to see what the end of this loop entails, because it really looks like the werewolves are going to end up winning. I asked Jamie to call Kinosuke Shi to help carry the corpse, but she insisted on doing it herself. I caved, and we began the unpleasant task. Following Takumi-san's example, I removed the door and placed his body on it. Chami and I each took an end of the door and lifted it up. He was as heavy as he looked, and I wouldn't have been surprised if this was too much even for 2 men. However, Chami lifted her side without letting out a single grunt of exertion. It felt like active rejection of the idea that she might need help. We slowly began walking. Kinosuke Shi was outside. He was anxious about something. It didn't look like he was waiting for us, so maybe Rikaku Uematsu hadn't come out yet? I couldn't afford to stop and chat. Relaxing my arms or lower body could lead to me dropping Takumi-san. I kept walking forward without a single word. Sighing and stopping was our sign that one of us needed to rest. Every time one of us did it, we lowered him to the ground, rubbed our aching hands, adjusted our grips, and resumed walking. As we approached the cliff, Chami's expression grew darker. Takumi Nichan was the youngest of the adults. He was like an older brother to me. I was going to ask how that mattered. I didn't see a point in questioning it. I simply nodded, continued to play the role of audience. He played with me a lot, and always protected me when the other adults got mad at me. There's nothing good about this human place, but he loved Yasumizu and the people living here. Yeah, I could tell. He was honest to a fault. Yeah. I don't want to just throw him away. Of course you don't. I don't like this either. Should we stop? The only ones who really care about this are Takumi-san himself and Tai-san, right? No, we gotta do this. Because of the corruption? Yeah. I continued asking if she was sure, but she didn't change her mind, so we ended up throwing his body into Teranaga. We walked through the graveyard, careful not to trip. We could now see the hanging pond through the mist. Our destination was near. Unrelated, but I do wonder if anybody could clear up the old man and the little boy that likes to dress as a girl. That when they like went out, they like died, and we never really got an explanation to that. Do I get an explanation? Was it given one and I just kind of glossed over it? Or what was that about? Because I thought that we would get more answers to that like the day after or like right after, and I feel like it didn't super get addressed. So let me know if I missed something, or if I will find that out in the future, or if you have any answers for me. Because that is something that's in the back of my mind that I'm just like, I still didn't get a full answer on that, even though my guess was that they left before anybody like was hanged or whatever, and before the feast concluded, and so maybe the corruption just got them both. That's my only guess, but I don't know if that's true or not, because it never got confirmed or addressed, as far as I know. Anyway, we carefully closed in on the cliff and pushed the door toward it. Bye, Takumi Nishi-chan. She said that right as I felt the body slide off. It was falling. I'd done this several times now, but it still made me feel empty. It would eventually hit the water, make a splash, and that'd be it. Huh? Did you hear the water? Not sure. Did we both miss it somehow? Or maybe the bottom of Teranaga opened up into a yawning chasm leading to Yomi. You've got quite the imagination. No one knows what's beyond the mist. There could be anything out there. Should I go down and take a look? You won't return. That was how she saw the world. Let's go back. Whoa, if that would have been a choice, wouldn't that have been crazy? We returned to another investigation of Takumi-san's house, but something strange had happened while we were gone. Kinosuke was still in the same spot in front of Rikaku Uematsu's house, waiting for her without even trying to hide his frustration. Why isn't she coming out? She still hasn't come out? No, you're the one who said she seemed alright. What made you think that? I heard sounds. Why didn't you call out to her yourself instead of just waiting? As if I could do something so rude. Why is she the only one you're nice to? Nasatu is above Uematsu, isn't it? That was an interesting bit of info. I hadn't realized that the head families had a hierarchy. It's only natural to be considerate of women. I'm a woman too, though. I don't see a reason to be considerate of someone so hostile towards me, do you? Please stop. We just finished putting a body to rest. That was probably one of the reasons why they were so agitated, but my comment was enough to shut them up. Though, yes, I'm worried too. She might need help if she's sick or injured. We may have no choice but to barge in. How improper. Was he the type of guy to report someone who undressed a girl to give her proper first aid? What was up with this guy's priorities? Uematsu-san, Rikaku Uematsu-san. I bashed the door almost violently. I heard the sound of rustling clothes. Had she collapsed or something? Uematsu-san, I'm opening the door. No answer again, only sounds. Was it really Rikaku Uematsu in there? What if it's like a werewolf? What if it's, Uematsu, like, transformed into a werewolf that didn't turn back or something? Let's break it down. Jimmy nodded while Kinosuke gave a disgruntled sigh. Oh, I'm scared of what we're gonna see. The door was made from the plywood and a wooden frame. A solid impact would break through. I looked around and saw a few aged farming tools lying against some houses. The old wooden hoe and mallet were too rotten to work here. But the old axe looked just right. 1, 2, I looked at the axe and started counting, but had to stop midway. There was a sound of clattering. The door suddenly moved. Surprised, I jumped backwards and glanced at the other two. They were just as shocked if not frightened. What's that? What do you mean? It has to be Rikaku-san. Uematsu-san? There was no response at first, but a few seconds later, the door shook again. Oh, no, I'm scared. A moment later, it fell silent once more. Remember what I said about making choices to die? I might be dying soon. Had she collapsed on the door? If she wasn't well and was lying next to the door, breaking it open was dangerous. I put the axe down and walked up to the door again. The moment I approached it, I heard a clicking sound. I didn't even have time to question what happened before it creaked open. There was a gap of about 20 centimeters. It was pitch black inside. Oh! And there was a face all covered in blood. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Is she like reaching for me, trying to kill me? Look at the mouth, the teeth. Oh gosh. I'm actually glad that I have sound off for this. If I heard her doing that, I would die. It sunk back into the darkness the very next moment. But it was soon replaced by an inhuman scream and an arm that snaked out and grabbed for my neck. The grip had inhuman strength behind it. I ignored Chiemi's and Kinosuke's screams and tried to pry myself free. My throat was on the verge of crushing. The groans continued ceaselessly. The nails dug into my neck and I was being dragged inside? Help! How the hell was she so strong? This arm clearly belonged to Rikaku Uematsu, so why? Help me! My words got them out of their stupor and they ran up to me. As panic and lack of oxygen dimmed my vision, they grabbed, bashed, and tugged at the arm that was holding on to me. Damn it. Hey, let go. Just one finger. I don't know how long it took, but when I was eventually freed, Chemi swiftly slammed the door shut. Bring something I can use to bar the door. Like what? Just shove the axe at it. Standing on the ground in shock, I simply stared at their exchange. I could still barely breathe, my vision was hazy, and I couldn't think clearly. Something inside was trying to get the door open and possibly escape. What it was, though, I had no idea. What had happened to Rikaku Uematsu? How about this? No such a sign. Hold it shut. I'll bring the others and we'll barricade it. Haruaki-san, are you alright? Can you stand? Yeah. Actions were more important than words here. Stealing my resolve, I rose to my feet. We gathered everyone who could still move and sealed off Rikaku Uematsu's door and windows with planks, nails, large farming tools, and whatever else we could find. This is crazy. I feel like every single time I keep trying to put this game into a box of like, okay, I'm understanding the rules. There's a werewolf, there's this, there's that. But like every single time something outside of the realm of like this little box I'm trying to put it in keeps happening. And it keeps throwing me for a loop, a raging loop, if you will. And gosh, I cannot wait till I really just fully understand everything, because I feel like every time I think I figure something out, it just keeps surprising me. That is not what I was expecting. Okay. The small house was basically a pile of flimsy barricades now. Everyone was tired from all the work and sat down to rest. What's the point of doing this, though? Someone asked. We could still hear groans and crashing sounds from the inside. No one answered the question, but we all understood that letting the thing out would be a mistake. But what exactly was it anyway? A Yomibito. That seemed like an answer, of some sort anyway. What do you mean? Corrupted folk that come from Yomi, you know, don't you? It has to be a Yomibito, that. That's not what I mean. Yomibito are the wolves, right? They came back to life because they're a grudge over being killed during the feast. It's not always like that, Haru-chan. Yasumitsu has always been menaced by Yomibito. Or maybe this is the corruption. Omatsu-sama might have broken an important law. Oh, maybe. That can't be. Protecting the laws is the role of the purifying spider family. But that might be it. She touched too much of the corruption. But that's... She might have come to Yasumitsu to keep at least a bit of the Yomi's corruption away. How many Yomibito will we have now? Takuya was a good boy. Maybe it's a good thing he died before seeing hell. Thus I offer homage to Shinai the Almighty, so peace may come to pass. Thus I offer homage to Shinai the Almighty, so peace may come to pass. A silent prayer. Her eyes were teary and her shoulders were shaking. Wait, then Rikaku-san is... Yomibito must be hanged. That didn't sit right with me. The rule was that breaking the laws meant getting the corruption, and getting the corruption meant being slaughtered, right? It was the first time I'd heard that it was possible to do something about the corruption, and that she died because of that. Logic had little ground here, so the people were gradually losing their minds. They were being pushed closer to death. It was like... This was a supernatural phenomenon. Uh-huh. Maybe now you're getting it. Is anyone hungry? I've already calmed down, so we can do the rest after you've calmed down as well. It was a very attractive suggestion. As we all turned away and returned to the dining hall, I felt like Rikaku Uematsu let out a groan even more inhumanly loud than any of those before. Once we arrived, the place was dominated by a heavy silence. There were sounds coming from the kitchen. A kitchen knife rhythmically hit the cutting board as Kaori-san prepared the food. Tai-san was seated away from everyone, desperately, yet fluently chanting a sutra. Combined with the kitchen sounds, it had a mind-numbing effect. Everyone else was simply falling into a torpor, staring silently into space. I've never seen that word in my life. I don't think it's real. Even I, the sanest person in the room, I wanted to simply let my mind shut down and stop thinking. That wouldn't stop me from trying, though. Rather than trying to evaluate the details, I decided to return to square one and summarize the current situation. Takumi-san was dead. That left me, Chemi, the two Oribes, Kinosuke, Tai Yamawakishi, Meiko, Rikaku Uematsu, and Haru Makishima, a total of 9. And Rikaku Uematsu, I didn't want to say she'd become a Yomibito or something, but it was clear that she was in a condition that left her functionally useless. Normally, the right thing to do here would be to take her to a hospital, but instead, they were going to discuss killing her. I'd probably have to remind them of the sound course of action. Whatever the case, if you ignored Rikaku Uematsu and I, only 7 people were participating in the feast. Yeah, and I'm not convinced that any of the werewolves have, like, died. So, they're about to kill the rest of them. With Takumi-san's death, we would never know what the snake found out about Haru Makishima. Therefore, the only confirmed people were Kinosuke, a human, and Meiko, a monkey. And personally, I thought I could trust Shemi, so that made 3. Okay, but that's... I don't know. That left 4 others. This was bad. I wonder if Shemi understood that. I had to talk to him in private. Where's Oni-chan? We kept Meiko away from all that had happened this morning, so she was still in the dark about Rikaku-san. She's not feeling too good. Leave her in peace. Okay, hey, can I go outside? Isn't it dangerous? I'll look after her. She'll be safe if she stays close. The 2 left. Yasunaga. What? There's something I want you to fetch. I'm gonna use the bathroom. More and more people left. They probably didn't feel comfortable standing up until now. Tai-san just continued chanting, though. It was like she lived in another world. Besides her, all that was left was me and Haru. Hooray! Haru-chan. The way she constantly shifted in her seat made it clear she felt uncomfortable. Sorry about Takumi-san. I tried talking to her. Yeah, Chine always relied on him. What about Rikaku Uematsu-san? I didn't like her. She creeped me out. Chemi-chan seemed fine with her, though. That's because she's strong. When did Uematsu-san arrive here? 2 or 3 years ago. Not recently, at least. That seemed like plenty of time to get to know a person, if you ask me. Or maybe not. Yasumi's people have been suffering at the hands of the village heads for generations. Of course, they couldn't just accept her. I heard she's one of the village heads, but what kind of family are the Uematsu anyway? What do you even want to know? How many times do we have to tell you that you're an outsider and should just stay out of all this? Oh, sorry, that was insensitive of me. Let's talk about something else then, alright? Fine. I looked around. As I saw Yasunagi-kun walk upstairs, I lowered my voice and asked, what was Mochi to you? Why are you asking? To make up for his lack of funeral. Huh? In funerals, you talk about the people who passed away, right? I remember hearing that gives their souls peace. This is unexpected. What is? I thought you were cold and heartless. I didn't think I'd hear something about peace in the afterlife from you. That was just rude. Was it? Mochi was an Osato, but he never acted like he was better than anyone. He was weird and as much a troublemaker as Chine, but he never hurt anyone. Everyone said he wasn't right in the head, but I didn't think so. He was really funny. I think he would have been really popular if he appeared on TV. He was 1 year older than me, but he treated me like someone his own age. I always had tons of fun with him. He got along really well with Nichan too. He did? Yeah, they were always together, and they were like a pair of heroes in school. They got along so well that I sometimes felt lonely with them. Her visage dimmed. I felt like she was easier to understand than most. If Mochi had really liked her, it must have been a tough love. She hadn't even looked at him in that regard, and being with Yasunagi-kun even made him a target of her jealousy. But he's gone now. Yasunagi-kun must feel terrible. Yeah. Why not help him out? Yasunagi-kun was going up the stairs again. I gestured at him with my chin. Huh? He's doing something for his mom, and Chemi-chan's outside. I don't think you can replace Mochi, and Chemi-chan's probably the best person for the job. But even if they are the ones who will make the final decision, there's no reason to hold yourself back in the meantime, right? You want to help him, don't you? Yeah. You too? Well, Chemi gave me way more than just a meal and a place to stay. I won't say I don't have any ulterior motives, but more than that, I just want to support her. She seems to be suffering at the hands of things I can't even comprehend. Yeah, I think I misunderstood you. I can't blame you. Are you going? Yeah, I still need to apologize for yesterday. Then I'll go outside too. We stood up at the same time. Though Haru-chan was always on edge, deep inside she was a really honest girl. I worried that she'd fall victim to some scumbag like me down the road. Oh, what? Maybe you should really run up. Never mind. Forget I said anything. She cut herself short and hurried upstairs. Apparently, I'd gained some of her trust, but it didn't look like I could get anything more useful than that bit of advice. Unlike the other inhabitants, she just believed that escape was possible. That was why she tried to do it yesterday. That might have been the extent of it. So, who do you suspect? Haru-chan and Yasunagi-kun. Really? I walked up to Chimi, who was looking after Mako, and we started a conversation. I can understand Haru-chan, but Yasukun? We have 4 suspects. Tai-san, Kaori-san, and them. He was the only one out of those who was outside when Mochi died yesterday. And considering how cunning the wolves are, I can't imagine it being anyone but him. He's that devious? Yeah. Oh, so did he kill Mochi and like the old man or whatever? Really? Why did Takumi-san die today? Huh? What do you mean? He was obviously killed by the wolves. That's not what I'm asking. Huh? What do you mean? Oh, I think I get it. Because the spider didn't protect him. Right. The spider was probably already dead. Huh? Wait. When you think about it, on the first day, Takumi-san was protected by the spider. And yesterday, no one actually said that the spider should protect someone else, right? Yeah. That means that the spider once again protected Takumi-san. He's way too valuable. At least that's what should have happened if the spider was still alive. Well, that's true. Since the feast started, the ones who died before Takumi-san were Kansa-san, Yoshitsugu-kun, Mochi, and the old man who cried wolf. One of these 4 was the spider. The wolves realized this, killed him, and then went for Takumi-san. That's the only logical explanation. How would they have realized that someone's the spider, though? Huh? Aren't you overthinking it? What if they just assumed the spider was gone because 4 people died? That's the optimistic take, but if we're actually dealing with someone clever, underestimating them would be a fatal mistake. But how'd they find out who the spider is? You're too loud. Uh-oh, Mako. It's nothing, Mako-chan. She resumed scribbling on the ground. She was completely absorbed in it for some reason. I think it's likely that the wolves guessed who was the spider. But how? You told me that on the first day, Kansa-san let Yasunagi-kun talk for most of the feast, and only made the final decision, right? He looked like a more proactive type to me. I doubt he'd agree to not hang anyone on the first day. Well, that's true, but what about it? If he'd spoken up and taken the initiative, he could have easily controlled the situation, and most of his decisions would have been good calls. That's why he was such a good target for the wolves. That's what we thought, right? That's true, but we also thought the same about Yasukun. On the other hand, if you're a wolf, you have no chance of becoming a target for the wolves. It's more dangerous for them to not say anything important and look suspicious. Giving away harmless info for one is way better. That's a clever thing to do, don't you think? But how's that related to Kazuo Jishan keeping a silence? Well, this is all just speculation, but I think he kept quiet to avoid calling attention to himself so the wolves wouldn't target him. Why would he do that? Because he felt that his survival was intrinsically linked to that of the others. Because he had a guardian? Yeah, and it was probably the spider. Why are you so confident? The spider is the most vulnerable participant in the feast. After all, the one person they can't protect is themselves. But as long as his identity was hidden, he had the possibility of making the wolves wait tonight. That was probably why he tried not to stand out, but it worked against him and attracted the wolves' attention. He, of all people, is quiet? He must have an amazing guardian and all that. That led to the wolves taking him out on the first day and then taking out Takumi-san, now defenseless on the second. Interesting. Okay, that makes sense. I know that's just speculation, but I kind of feel like you're right. If even that was planned by the enemies, it's best to assume that the anomalies too have all been shortcuts for the wolves. What do you mean? Too many people died outside the rules. Yoshitsugu-kun, Mochi, the old man, the old wolf guy, and Rikaku Uematsu. She's effectively dead now. To the wolves, unplanned deaths are a good thing. The less feasts they have to survive, the lower the chance they'll be hanged. Then what if they planned for those people to die? I see your point, but how could they pull it off? They could tell Yoshitsugu-kun to walk around outside at night, basically sending him to the corruption. I don't know the motive behind Mochi and the wolf guy's deaths, but it all makes sense if they were killed by Rikaku Uematsu. Ooh. What? Tai-san talked about Uematsu's role and thought she fell to the corruption because of it, but there's a more reasonable explanation. If she killed the two, she'd have broken the feast rule of one person per day and become a target of the corruption. Oh, so maybe she is one of the werewolves. Okay. I put aside the idea that there were apparently two types of corruption, slaughter and madness. But how? Did you see the clothes she wears? She wouldn't have the time to change. And there's no way she could have won against two men, right? Then how about this? Mochi, the wolf guy, killed the other, and the one who survived was killed by her. She became the target of the corruption for drawing the blood of a second person in one day. I don't know about the clothes, but it could be solved by a large apron or something. We can't say it's impossible until we verify it. But even a single guy sounds like too much for her. One of them was senile, though, or maybe they were weakened from trying to kill each other. Kill? What? How could you think something like that? Again, it's all just speculation. I don't even know the motive, but it does make sense. But how's that related to the wolves' conspiracy? I don't know the motive here either, but if they knew her weakness or something, they could have goaded her into killing them. Or maybe she was a wolf herself. Jimmy was at a loss for words. I had no choice but to continue myself. She could have hastened the whole process to give the other wolf an advantage. I really doubt that. Getting themselves killed would be really bad for the wolves. True, considering the number of wolves and humans, losing one wolf to take out two humans isn't a good deal. But there was no guarantee that everyone would realize that. Not everyone acts logically. There's lots of illogical stuff going on, and predicting their effects is impossible. No, I don't want to hear that. But you can't give up, can you? I don't want to think anymore. Sorry, I said too much. Don't worry, I'm the one who should be sorry. But yeah, this is a bit hard for me. I really don't think you people need to keep playing along with this. I'll help you escape if you want. We can't. I just know that if you're born here, you're fated to die here. That's just a baseless delusion. Someone who can't see God would never understand. Yeah, I won't. How troubling. It really was troubling. If this was some tabletop fun for the whole family game, I'd have already punched the gem and left. But lives were actually on the line here. Not just my own, but also that of someone I kind of liked. We made it this far, yet she was uncooperative. Maybe I was going about this wrong? Maybe if I wanted to save her life, I had to start by saving her from the darkness within? Or maybe from the identified supernatural phenomenon that was binding her. Though that didn't seem like something that could be done in just 3 or 4 days. Still, I struggled until the very end. I couldn't participate in the feast myself, so I had no choice but to leave it to Chimmy. I didn't say anything more to her, I just chose to believe she'd overcome her inner conflict soon. Meanwhile, Miko's drawing had grown so large, it felt like she would get lost in the mist. Hey, I think this is a good place to stop. I thought it was going to transition to something else, but at least we're finished talking with Chimmy. So I think I'm going to end off this episode here, and on the next time, I'm just going to keep going down this path. I am interested to see if this results in me dying at some point. I do think at some point I should go back to the choice of trying to leave and see what sort of route that leads me to. I assume it's not going to lead to much, but if I can get like a key out of it for trying to leave and then dying to a corruption or something, maybe I could learn some more info, or I could just get an option for something even completely unrelated. Who knows? But yeah, we're just going to keep going down this line, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, you have been enjoying. If so, let me know. But I will see you next time. Till then, peace out.